It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Well, good day, everybody, and welcome to the program. It is County-Wide. I'm Brad Miller, and we're happy to welcome a guest who has been on our show. It's been a little time since Officer Jerry Ferguson has been in. He is the Public Information Officer and a longtime public servant with Prescott Valley Police. We say good morning to you, sir.
Thanks, Brad. We appreciate the opportunity to come and just make information available for people.
Well, what we're going to talk about here in this holiday season, 'tis the season to have your car broken into or things like that, unfortunately.
'Tis the season to be jolly. 'Tis not the season to be a victim.
That's right. Let's talk first. It's been in the news, the press releases that have come out of your office and from your department. There have been break-ins isn't quite the right word, because there have been some crimes of opportunity, people helping themselves to open cars.
This is one of the key issues that we face in our community anyway, is unlocked vehicles.
Yeah.
Whether it be in residents, whether it be in parking lots, in stores. We've had them go through cars at Walmart at nighttime and just check out the cars, and the doors are open, they'll grab stuff.
Yeah. And this is people just kind of walking around looking for loose change or a phone in the car or anything.
The key is opportunity. Whatever they find in there that they can turn into cash or turn into trade-off or something they can use it for, then it's gone.
You were saying that you had some, maybe doorbell cams or some kind of surveillance where folks were...
That's helped us tremendously with this new, well, it's not so new anymore, but with the doorbells that show cameras and everything, we've actually identified suspects and been able to close cases because of that. When we have a series in the same neighborhood, it's the same suspects doing it, we just check with the neighbors and say, can we use your video what you have there.
Yeah, that kind of evidence. Yeah, and you kind of, again, before the show, we started recording, mentioned that cars that were locked were bypassed.
Right.
Cars that were unlocked were the ones that...
Yeah, our cameras actually show where they're walking down a driveway, they pull the handle, it won't open, they leave that driveway, they go to the next driveway, and they may do 3 or 4 or 5 cars, and then they'll find one open, and then, no alarms go off, they just take the time and take what they want.
Whatever's in there becomes theirs. I don't know if it's a holiday thing, if these are folks who are kind of pressed for money during holidays, or simply just no-gooders looking to go out and cause a little bit of trouble. But lock those cars, even in your own driveway, I guess, especially in your own driveway. And we feel safe. It's our home, but...
Well, that's the thing. People have in their home, they think they're safe.
Yeah.
And when they park their car in their driveway, they think it's safe. Because of my police background in larger cities, I still lock my car every time I get out of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, in your parking lot right now, I locked the car to come in here.
Yeah, well, we got some rough characters here at the station, so that's good advice. Do you, just curious, a little quick sidebar, as a longtime police officer, do you lock your doors when you're at home and inside the house? Front and back door, say?
I do.
Yeah, I've talked to so many PD, and they all say that.
Yeah, every time I walk in the door, I lock it. And then at nighttime, I double lock.
You bet.
And my family does that right now. It's just my wife and I.
Yeah.
But that's every night before I go to bed, I'm walking around and make sure all the doors got locked before I go to bed.
It's kind of like, well, why not? It can add a little layer, and especially, I mean, there's arguments you think, well, if you're rural, there's nobody around, but, well, there's nobody around.
And that's exactly right. And it takes longer if the door's locked, and if it's locked, they'll be discouraged.
Yeah.
But if they want to get into it, it takes them longer to do it, and it makes more noise.
You'll be alerted, sure, you betcha. We had somebody at our house, we live kind of up in Clarkdale, and the houses are close together and close to the sidewalk.
Sure.
And we've had a few people, and I know one guy would have been in the house if the door hadn't been locked. So it's just a good idea. Let's talk again, kind of back more to topic here. We said 'tis the season at the top of the show, and we get those porch pirates and packages being delivered and left outside because no one's home at the time. Is that? I mean, I know that's a problem. How do we combat that? What's a good way to?
3 years ago, we had our worst time because of COVID and because so many people were ordering online. We've been blessed in Prescott Valley not to have a lot of that so far this year, but you still have to be careful to be cautious. We tell people don't leave stuff on your porch any longer than necessary.
Right.
Talk to your neighbor if you know something's going to come. Talk to your neighbor, ask them to pick it up. If you know you're not going to be home and won't be back for a while, you can also have the packages shipped to the store, and you could pick it up there, not have it delivered to your house.
Yeah.
And again, we've said it 3 different times now, security camera.
Right.
I've been out of town quite a bit this last 2 weeks, and my wife's been home, and I'll look at my camera, and I'll give her a call. I said, okay, you got a package at the front door. Have you seen it yet? Have you picked it up yet?
Yeah.
Or I'll see somebody come to the door. What was that call about? Those cameras are tremendous.
Yeah, big tools.
And we have a program within Prescott Valley, and other agencies do it too, where they can register their camera with us, and then if we need it, they'll allow us to use it, but we don't automatically get it. In other words, it has to be a need case to be called. But they can actually say, we've got a camera, and we're available to make that to the police department if they need it. So if we have something happening in that neighborhood, we'll go to that neighbor and say, did your camera show anything?
Oh, okay. I wondered if it was just every time, because if you look on YouTube, you'll find all kinds of things happening.
Right.
End up becoming evidential in a police case. I wondered if that was just good citizens saw it and stepped up, and I suppose that happens, but
sure.
This registration,
this is a definite program that we have in our community, and we ask people. And some don't. They're afraid that we're going to be spying on them or something.
Yeah.
But we do have a number where they've signed up and said, if you need us, our camera's available for you.
Okay.
And only when something happens in the neighborhood will we go to them and say, may we see your video.
All right. Before we wrap up with Officer Ferguson today, we'll give some information with phone numbers and maybe websites or whatever else so people can sign up for that program or some of the other things that we're going to kind of talk about here today. It seems like, is there anything the delivery companies can do? We've heard stories of people, bad guys, just following FedEx trucks around town.
Yes.
And picking up right after they drop off. And, their hands are tied too, right?
And, but they're now training their drivers to be more observant of the environment.
Yeah.
Again, it's situational awareness. And we're trying to tell our citizens to be that. Be aware of your situation, your environment. And so they're actually taking more opportunity to call us if they see a suspicious vehicle. They keep seeing this vehicle over and over. Every time I turn a corner, they turn a corner. Every time I stop, they stop back there. And so it's teamwork.
Right.
All of us have to be a part of it.
And they've got an awful lot to do on top of that.
Oh, yes.
So you can see how it, even with that kind of regard,
sure.
There's going to be, or stands to be, some issues. Do we get a spike at holiday time in these kinds of crimes, whether it be vehicle burglaries? Porch pirates obviously peak at this time of year, but...
Yes, you will have that peak. Anytime there's going to be excessive packaging going on, whether it be through the post office or Amazon or FedEx or UPS or whatever. So again, it's just a matter of knowing how to take care of yourself, how to protect what you've ordered. As I said, when something comes to my house, I see it show up and I immediately jump on it to make sure my wife's picked it up or whatever, and we're encouraging that for people.
Yeah, just kind of look out for one another, look out for your neighbors. It's kind of a team effort. We need to take a short break. There's plenty more to talk about holiday safety, like shopping and what to do if you're at the mall, you've got packages in the car, or credit card ID and theft, things like that. Our guest today is Officer Jerry Ferguson with Prescott Valley Police. We'll be back to Countywide right after this.
Your neighborhood Jackson Hewitt Tax Service for over 25 years and continues to serve the communities in northern Arizona. Jackson Hewitt is here to help you file your personal taxes. As laws and situations change, your local Jackson Hewitt Tax Service professional stays updated to serve you. Drop off or make an in-person appointment. In Flagstaff, call 213-8626. That's 213-8626. That's 213-8626.
The award-winning experts at Verde Solar Services offer the trusted carrier products that help you customize a solution to fit your budget. Verde Solar is a family-owned business serving the Verde Valley for 38 years with the carrier products you can rely on. Carrier AC systems are trusted to bring energy-efficient, quiet, consistent comfort. Call 928-567-5315 for a free assessment of your AC and air quality needs. Verde Solaire Services, online at verdesolaire.com, a factory authorized Carrier dealer.
Don't let concerns about today's events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor, Matthias Sandoval, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand the impact of these events and make sure your goals are top of mind. While you can't control the market volatility, we'll focus on what you can control. We can connect in several virtual ways. Start by giving me a call at 634-1044.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Welcome back to the program. It is Countywide, and today Officer Jerry Ferguson with the Prescott Valley Police Department is here in studio, and we're talking about safety, especially during the holidays. Folks are going to be naughty and not always nice any time of the year, but it seems like holiday time does present. A lot of folks are shopping, a lot of folks are carrying cash, a lot of folks are out spending money and hiding and delivering packages, more so this time of year than maybe the rest of the year, and that's why it can sometimes become kind of an uncomfortable season for some folks. Nobody wants to suffer a burglary or a loss. It's the feeling. Yes. One time someone tried to get our credit card information and was unsuccessful. We didn't lose a penny, but you feel violated.
That's exactly right.
I can't describe how awful that feeling was, and I'm sure anybody who had their car broken into has to go through that, and that is no fun at all.
We encourage people, if you see a phone number on your cell phone that you do not recognize, do not answer it.
Right.
Just
don't.
If they need you, they'll leave a message for you. Don't pick it up. That way they know you're home and they know that number's a good number. So you simply do not answer the phone if you don't recognize that number.
Yeah.
The other thing we would encourage in terms of shopping has to do with the encouragement not using debit card. Use your credit card.
Really?
Once you use your debit card, that money is gone.
Yeah.
If you use a credit card, you have some avenue of recovering the loss of whatever you've said.
Really?
I do not use my debit card for anything except at the bank where my bank is. It doesn't come out unless I'm cashing a check, unless I'm making a deposit. I never use my debit card at a service station. I never use it at a store, anywhere. We just say it's a lot safer to use that debit card only where it is issued from, and not anywhere else. Use a credit card.
I use my debit card in all of those places you just mentioned.
Well,
all the time.
You've been protected without realizing who was protecting you.
I've been lucky. just been lucky. Well, now I've kind of heard about that for the very reasons you say, and I guess you got to come back around. The wife does the bookkeeping in our house. That's why we still have a home to live in. But it can be a little less convenient when you have to go and kind of tabulate things up at the end of the month.
Sure.
Not a good reason to be adding that big extra layer of protection, is it?
That's exactly right. And if you don't have to, people think it's more convenient to use the debit card.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
Yeah, right.
If you I carry a credit card and a debit card. The debit card's for the bank. Credit cards, I stopped to get gas before I got here to the station today. Out came my credit card.
Wow.
That's my practice.
Yeah. Well, and there's that level of consumer protection typically too.
Sure.
With credit cards.
Exactly.
Challenged invoices you might later get and things like that. So good reasons. Boy, well, there's one for me to think about. Let's have everybody else think about this. I wanted to find out. I just heard, I think it was down in the Phoenix area, the card skimmers.
Yes.
Like on gas pumps or sometimes even ATMs. How do I look out for those?
Again, first of all, go to your own bank if possible. Don't go to an ATM sitting out anywhere. It's convenient,
right,
but it's not necessarily safe. I would say look at the equipment itself. Does it look like it's been tampered with at all?
And that can be hard to detect. I saw a YouTube video.
Yes,
and
it is.
Boy, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
I would have stuck my card in there and not known.
But there again, that's why I say go to an ATM that's at the bank that you're familiar with because they're more protected. But hit an ATM at a drive-in or supermarket or
some
whatever.
that are like temporary at concerts, say, or things like that. I'm a little kind of funny about as well. For folks, maybe I'm assuming everyone knows what the skimmers are, but they're just a little device that people, bad guys, naughty people, will attach to, say, a gas pump.
Reads the codes
and gets your
sends
info.
The code. And as soon as they've got it, you've got it.
Yeah.
That's the same way with people getting a call from somebody saying, my grandson's in jail or I'm in jail, I need to get out, can you go get gift cards and give us the number and all
Terrible
that.
Thing.
And frauds are the number one issue in our agency anyway, and I'm sure it is based on what I see from the Federal Trade Commission all over. The fraud, getting money, is the name of the game. And unless you're out to know how to protect your money at all levels,
right?
Whether it's shopping or writing a check or whatever,
right?
You need to be your own savior,
right?
If I can use that term.
Well, it makes perfect sense. And everybody here again, are drawing from my own family's experience. My wife noticed $45 on our debit card, which I'll not be using after today's talk. But it was on the debit card. It was $45 even, and it was at a major convenience store chain. Let's say that one that we just don't visit.
Yeah.
So she immediately questioned it. Somebody had gotten our information and was using it to purchase $15 gift cards at that place.
Right.
Just 2 months ago, if that.
Yeah.
And so, and that showed us that, that's what they want, because once they get the gift card, now they got the cash.
Exactly.
And
you don't get it back. And that's the challenge with any of these fraud things. Once you've given up the information where you have money, you don't get it back. We can't recover it.
Yeah, you're just done.
That's it.
They've won this round.
And I'll say, my wife does the bookkeeping at our home. And every month she goes through every charge card, even not just debit card, because I don't use the debit card.
Sure.
But every charge card she goes through, is this valid, this valid, this valid? And I'll say yes or no, and sometimes I'll make a call. It's not my charge.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just maybe go through it too fast. We don't realize it. It's not always $1,000.
No.
Or $1,200. In our case, it was $45.
The little dollars add.
You betcha. All right. Well, when we talk about holiday shopping, here again, we can become victims or targets of folks who are out going, doing the stores and those kinds of things. You've already taught us one lesson, recommending that credit card over debit cards. Beyond that, what do we need to keep in mind?
I think it's important, first of all, that when you leave the store, it's better to have someone with you. And if you're insecure, ask the security guard at the store to walk out with you, especially at dark. But have your keys in your hand. Don't wait till you get to the car and then fumble in your purse or fumble in your pocket to get your key out. Be ready to get into the car as soon as you get out there. But always look in the car before you open the door, too.
Sure.
But in night shopping, park under the parking lot lights.
Yeah.
Don't just, park anywhere you see a spot, because you've got to go back out there. And we tell this to the employees of the store. Have somebody walk out with you if you're by yourself.
And a lot of people are, because we're trying to buy presents, and so we don't want to, a lot of times we're shopping by ourselves, whereas we maybe normally don't.
And generally your hands are full.
Right.
You're preoccupied. So again, it goes back to being aware of your environment. Be situationally cognizant of what's going on around you, and don't be alarmed. I mean, if you get insecure, walk back into the store.
Yeah.
Think again. Survival.
Just kind of be on your toes all the time is kind of the way to do it. I know sometimes you can be approached. I don't want to use any insensitive terms, but beggars, or homeless people, or people that we just kind of have some assumptions about when we see them.
Sure.
It just seems to me, Jerry, they're getting more and more brazen and aggressive in kind of communicating to you that they need your money or your time or your something or other. What recourse do I have when I'm approached with these folks?
There's a couple of opportunities you can take. Number one is, if they're on the private property of the store, you can talk to the store and say, have you allowed this person to be out there? If they're on public property, you don't have that option.
Right.
But neither do you have to stop. Neither do you have to pay eye contact. Be aware of what they're doing.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to be available to indicate you're willing to help them out, you have to make your own decision about how generous or not generous you want to be.
Yeah.
The whole proven fact with so many people are a lot of these are not needy people. They're taking advantage of other people's money.
Right.
And it's not even wise to stop and say, well, what's your real need? They'll have a sign out there, have kids or whatever. We've all seen them.
Once you engage them,
exactly,
they
have your attention.
They have your attention.
Yes.
They have a potential in.
Yes.
Yeah. It just, I'm a kind of a big guy, and I usually don't have a lot of trouble. But one time, the wife was going into a grocery store. This was a few years ago, and a man who he just kind of kept standing between her and the doorway she was trying to get into.
Sure.
She felt not fearing for her safety right at the moment. It was daylight. A lot of people were around. But the guy was extremely aggressive, and he's just looking for a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
And you hear about these things. Well, those little tiny minor little episodes can become big confrontations and sometimes devastating.
And this is why it's important not to be the initiation of physical contact with them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I say eye contact, avoid eye contact. And as long as you've got people around you, join those people when they walk in the store or whatever. When I see that, if I'm walking in, again, I'm a sizable man and have that command presence.
Yeah.
I just move right on.
Yeah.
If I slow down and look at them like I might be want to pay attention to them, then I've set my stage for their benefit.
We've learned how to give off a heat, you and I.
Yeah.
some of the tiny ladies might have a little more difficulty with that. All right, great information today. We do need to take another short break. We'll come back and we'll include some information about how you can contact Jerry Ferguson at Prescott Valley PD and perhaps some info about how to kind of get signed up with that doorbell cam thing. That's kind of interesting. We'll come back to Countywide right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley for 38 years, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust, designed, engineered, and built in the USA. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates on systems that are quiet and affordable. Verde Solaire is locally owned since 1983 and available for all your heating, air conditioning, and plumbing needs. Call 928-567-5315. Visit them online at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Taxes, taxes, taxes.
It's that time again. This is Lewis with Rice Accounting Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. We don't sell cars, we don't do hair or wait tables. We do taxes. At Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, we talk taxes and we prepare taxes. Open year-round for tax filings. Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, located throughout northern Arizona. For over 20 years, our local preparers have helped neighbors pay their fair share and no more.
Jackson Hewitt Tax Service in the Tri-Cities at 772-7872. That's 772-7872.
Welcome back to the program, and our guest today, Jerry Ferguson with Prescott Valley Police, and just talking about holiday time safety, but really this advice is good any time of year. Now, the department is going to have something really important and impressive coming up on the 22nd of February?
The 22nd of February from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the police department is a workshop for anybody that wants to come. Refuse to be a victim. That's the name of the workshop. That is also an international teaching program, and we've just recently become supposedly experts, but trained in that particular program.
Okay.
So this will be our first time to present it to the community. Refuse to be a victim.
Okay.
And it covers all these things we've been talking about.
I was going to say, that's really a self-explanatory
yes, it is.
Title to kind of help you either in your home, in your car, or out at public spaces, whatever it may be. And if I want, do I need to register ahead of time for that, or where will that be?
It's going to be open enrollment, and it's free, no charge. So just keep that date in mind. And as we get closer to that, we'll be doing more media on it.
Okay.
And that will also give information.
So you'll hear that here. All right. If there's information that folks maybe have a question beyond what you and I have chatted about, or in addition to what we've chatted about, and then also in our first segment, we talked about that doorbell cam registration or participation. If someone's interested in that, who should they?
When they call the police department, the phone number is 928-772-9267.
Okay.
And you have several opportunities to pick your department. So you want I just lost my name on that.
Right.
Crime prevention.
Okay.
You want crime prevention.
Gotcha.
Extension, and it'll come to the people, and they'll show you how to tell you how to register on that.
Simple as that. All right. And I think folks know also anything you hear on Countywide, you can call us, and we'll get you the right connection to if you missed any of the numbers or things that we gave out. Well, I really appreciate it. I think some folks are maybe going to have a more happy holiday season because of the information you shared with us today.
Thank you. As I said, we want you to enjoy the holiday, not be a victim.
That's right. All the time, all year round. Jerry Ferguson, our guest today, we thank you, sir. We thank you for all your years in law enforcement and all of your brothers and sisters who help keep our communities safe. It's countywide. We'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.